Hey everybody, Waifu Selector here, the only fair human on earth, and today I want to talk about the price of games once again. We talked about this maybe a month or so ago, but we've had a bit of a development, so I think we should have a chat. And surprise, surprise, it's Xbox back at it again, but maybe not only them. So let's get into this. Now, Xbox did promise us that they'd be doing this, that they'd be raising the prices of their first-party games later this year. Back when they raised the prices of their consoles and accessories by quite a bit. That was when they told us they'd be raising the game prices too later in the year. And now we're seeing that reality start to rear its ugly head with none other than Obsidian Entertainment's The Outer Worlds 2. Yeah, I know. Not exactly who you'd expect, but it was confirmed that The Outer Worlds 2 will be set at an $80 base price. The Outer Worlds. And what this confirms to me more definitively is that Xbox really meant what they said. You know, it's not just gonna be some games going up to $80, not just big games, not just ones that they know will get away with it. No, they are just raising the prices of all their first party games. Because, you know, we all expected this from like the upcoming Black Ops 7. Call of Duty can get away with being $80. Unfortunately, that's the truth. It's too big for it to matter. It's gonna come out, be $80, everyone will bitch and moan and buy it anyway, so it won't matter, just like Mario Kart. So that $80 Call of Duty is very expected, but we're not talking about Call of Duty. We're not even talking about something on that same level. We're talking about The Outer Worlds 2. For most people, this is far from a guaranteed buy, and when they see it's $80, they'll only become less likely to purchase it. I mean, hell, I can use myself as an example, and I play a wider variety of games than the average player. Listen, The Outer Worlds 1 was not that good. I wasn't doing YouTube back then, but I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. A lot of it was pretty boring and unfun. So I had planned not to play the sequel. However, I then played Avowed earlier this year from Obsidian and really enjoyed it. Coupled with trailers from The Outer Worlds 2, in all honesty, just looking significantly better than the first game, that kind of leveled up my interest. So my interest in The Outer Worlds 2 rose, and I was sort of on the fence about playing it. Then they said it would cost $80. And I thought, yikes, I don't want to play it that bad. I really don't. And I, as a gaming enthusiast, am far more likely than most players to spend $80 to play a game. And I'm saying I don't think I want it that bad. And when Xbox raised prices of their consoles by $80, I said it kind of felt like they were waving a white flag. It just felt like an odd choice when you're already in last place. So, is this act of them raising the price on games like The Outer Worlds 2 also just because they're kinda stupid? Well, maybe a little, but the real play here is, of course, Game Pass. Of course, it's always Game Pass. Because the thing is, Xbox has more or less ended their attempt to weaponize exclusivity, and now they are shipping their games on all platforms. But those same games, including The Outer Worlds 2, tend to come to Game Pass on day one. So, your choices are full price on other platforms, or $20 for a month of Game Pass Ultimate so that you can essentially just rent the game for 20 bucks. And yet, maybe a little bit unsurprisingly, a lot of people will just pay full price to play on their preferred platform. So if you're Xbox, how do you make the deal of Game Pass even more enticing? Well, we're looking at it. You raise the price of your base games. Now, it's do you want to pay an inflated price on other platforms or just sign up with Game Pass? But to be honest, I don't know if this is gonna bring people into Game Pass the way they think it is, because the reason they've started putting their games on other platforms like PlayStation is because PlayStation's player base is significantly larger, and making your games unavailable to them leaves a lot of money on the table. But also think about, a lot of players who play on PlayStation don't own any other gaming devices. I wouldn't be surprised if that's most, actually. So they don't have a way into Game Pass regardless. They don't have an Xbox or gaming PC. So if you raise the price of games that people are on the fence about or just not that dedicated to, all you're gonna do is make them not want to play it and give you $0. Sure, you can raise the price of your huge IP like Call of Duty, or hell, even give it a try with Gears E-Day, it might work, but I don't think they're doing any favors to other stuff they're trying to peddle, and I don't think they're gonna do any favors for Xbox as a business either. If you ask me, Xbox should be more strategically choosing which games to raise the price on, kinda like Nintendo's been doing, instead of what Xbox is doing and just making it a blanket thing. And the last time we talked about game price, I said that it's only a matter of time before someone overestimates their IP and slaps that $80 price tag on a game that people are just not willing to pay that much for. But still, there's no definitive answer on who that's gonna be first. But my money is on either The Outer Worlds 2 or Borderlands 4, because there was a whole thing about the possibility of Borderlands 4 being $80, and Borderlands is currently set to release a whole month before The Outer Worlds 2, but pre-orders for Borderlands have still not gone up and we still don't have a price. So we'll have to see what the price is and which game actually ends up coming out first. It's basically a race to see who overvalues themselves first. And I'll add, the creative directors for both Borderlands 4 and Outer Worlds 2 have each separately stated that they are not the ones who set the price for their games. And that's true, the publisher is the one making that decision, but regardless of who's making that decision, the result is the same for the consumer. And as the creative directors, as the game developer, your word does hold some sway. And if you communicate to the publisher, to the execs, that the game will not sell well if it is priced incorrectly, if you communicate that emphatically that this will fuck up the money, then you may be able to get them to not increase the price, because money is always what it comes down to. They don't care about your creative process or artistic vision, only if you communicate that this will fuck up the money. That's what prevents the $80 price tag. But you know, whatever. One of these games is likely gonna come out and get a reality check. And when that happens, I'm curious to see if there's a pivot in the business strategy after that point. I guess we'll find out in a few months. But yeah, that's more or less all I wanted to talk about. I just felt like this was a bold move, and I don't believe it's a good one either. But you tell me, let me know what you think in the comments. And what I'm really curious to know is if you are willing to pay $80 for The Outer Worlds 2 or Borderlands 4, or does that price dissuade you? Also, remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more good gaming talk. Even if you don't though, thanks for watching, and until next time, I am Waifu Collector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I am not a fan of $80 games. Goodbye.